15 ways that mountain area living is different than city or suburban living is a compilation of what I've learned over the years as a mountain area homeowner and investor. I've organized the information into several different videos, so I want you to click the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any part of it. Hi, I'm Sherry Cole & Company Real Estate in Blue Ridge, Georgia. I use modern methods to help buyers and sellers keep moving. In this series, I promise to explain how mountain living differs from city or suburban living, how these differences affect your costs as a homeowner, teach you how to avoid wasting time and expense searching for the wrong house, improve your confidence in your home buying decisions, and getting you enjoying that new life as soon as possible. In this first video, I will address the fact that the majority of the homes in the mountain area offer one of three views. It could be a mountain view, a wooded view, or a waterfront view. Each of these three different scenarios carries with it suggested precautions to take when investigating whether a property is right for you. Kind of person who dreams of waking up in the morning, padding through the house, going through the French doors to the deck, and having your coffee as you gaze over the treetops and into the distance to the beautiful mountain peaks, you would be a mountain view person. Imagine finding a property online that has pictures that are so vivid they transport you straight to that deck, and they're so clear that you can almost smell the coffee. You're so excited about this home because everything about it is perfect, including the price. So you go ahead and book the showing. You run to your car, plug the address into your GPS, and off you go. And the GPS does a great job of getting you all the way to the last turn to the property, and the road turns to gravel. And you think to yourself, oh, no problem. I've done gravel before. It's not a big deal because that's the way it is up here. So you turn on the gravel road and immediately the incline shifts to straight up the mountain because that's where you're going, to the top of the mountain. And as you step on the gas, the tires kick out gravel from behind you and you skid a little bit. But it didn't take long and you've got a grip on the road and you're on your way up to that house and you can't wait to see it. And then all of a sudden you start realizing how narrow the road is. It's only as wide as your car. And to the right is a steep wooded ravine. And to the left is a steep wooded mountain. And you think, what would happen if, oh, and then just as you're thinking that, here it comes a car around the corner. And now you're suddenly in a game of chicken. So the point I'm making is to pay attention on your route to and from the property that you're going to see. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and envisioning yourself in the property, but the path to the property could be a narrow road, it could be a steep gravel road, it could be a paved road that gets icy in the winter, it could be a privately maintained road that gets icy in the winter, so the county isn't salting it or plowing it. Those are things to think about. If, however, you are the kind of person who dreams of having her coffee waterside in front of a noisy stream or the lake, and your dream property is going to be down in the valley by the water, there are different other things to think about. For instance, I recommend when looking at such properties, try to look at them during a torrential downpour. And the reason I say that comes from experience. I live on the banks of Fightingtown Creek, and that means I'm at the bottom of the mountain. And all the properties that are above me are dispensing water runoff towards my property and towards the creek. And that means that my property takes on a lot of extra water, and unless there's adequate drainage, that means flooding my septic system. My septic will back up. I won't have septic service for a couple of days until I can get a service out there and then pay them $450 to pump the septic. It could mean basement flooding. It could mean other water issues. So, well, it's a lot more fun looking at property during a pretty sunny day. The lower elevation properties will tell you a lot more about them if you go to see them in bad weather. And the third typical view that you'll find in the mountains is a wooded view. A lot of people like to be kind of tucked away in the woods and the privacy that the woods offer, and they want the trees and the birds and the squirrels and the wildlife around them. And that is a wonderful place to be. But that's another place to look at in bad weather. When the wind's blowing and the trees are swaying, in rain, those are the kinds of conditions that will send tree limbs flying and dropping on your roof or on your car. So that's another good property to see in bad weather. Take a look around the property and see how close the trees are, what kind of trees are there. Some trees more readily drop limbs than others, like pines and other trees will be more likely to fall on your house. So while it's a great place to live when everything's working right, protecting yourself and your property would be something to think about in making that decision. So in summary, we just covered the first of many ways that mountain living is different than city or suburban living. And that is most homes here offer one of three kinds of views: a mountain view, a waterside or waterfront view, which is also in the valley, or a wooded view. And each of these three scenarios carries with it some suggested questions to ask before making a decision you might regret down the road. Stay tuned for my next video, which covers the second and third ways that mountain living is different than city and suburban living, and that is the prevalence of log homes and tin roofs.